But if you're in the beginning of the game, or at the beginning of the chess match, you cannot like look ahead that much. Because if I go, well, if I go here, he could do this, and then you have trillions of possibilities really fast, right? So you cannot look ahead that way. In jiu-jitsu, the similar analogy would be like if I'm finishing an arm bar, that would be more like calling check. It's what I call an endpoint position. So if I have someone in an arm bar and they're defending like this, we could probably break that down into if they do this, then I can do this. If they do this, I can do this, right? Because there's not that many possibilities. The same for finishing a triangle choke, right? There's limited options. But when we're looking at the beginning of a match, it's much harder because there's so many possibilities. I can't say is it better to ground to sleeve or is it better to ground to pin? You know, so just like in chess, when you're looking at the beginning of a match, often you function a bit more off principles. So it's like, I want to develop my pieces. I want to keep my pawns in a good structure. Things like that. So what I'm going to focus on today is going to be a bit more broad than I normally would, but it's understanding the core principles of guard retention and distance and how that's going to apply to everything else in jiu-jitsu, okay? So we're going to look at this from three main aspects. First is going to be the defensive aspect. The second is going to be the offensive aspect of distance. And then the third is going to be how it works to help you design your game. Okay, that'll make more sense as we get to that. Okay, so let me use you. So we're going to start off with the understanding guard defense, and then it'll go from there. So I break guard defense into three like tiers of priority. The number one most important priority with guard defense is distance, right? So just to make an extreme analogy, like if I'm over here, right, and I'm facing the wrong direction, and I say pass my guard, before she can get to me, I'll get my legs back in play. Okay, it's very similar. If I was boxing, and I just said, if I had to box Mike Tyson, if I'm 10 feet away, even though I know no boxing, and it's Mike Tyson, I can put my arms behind my back. He cannot punch me because there's so much distance. So there's an implicit safety that is always built when you have distance, right? So to give you like a more specific example, let's say that she has one pant leg and she just doesn't throw by to the side. If I'm really close, if I'm really close, if even closer, right, and she throws my leg here, I'm so out of position here because she's so close. But the exact same pass, right? It's the exact same throw by, but look, if I'm really far away, there's so much extra space for my legs to reset, right? So I can like, in the same way where if I was boxing, I was super far away, I can just be super relaxed, my heart rate can be down, I'm not panicked because I know there's no possible way they can punch me. It is very similar with the guard. If there's like a 3 foot or like 3.5 foot buffer between where she's at and where I'm at, I feel pretty safe. I know nothing bad can happen, right? And if I'm here and she's here, she enters on like a knee cut, just like a knee cut, and I'm here, this leg comes out really easy. Everything is fine. There's no real serious danger when I have this much space, right? As soon as she starts to get more over top, now there starts to become danger, right? Because now if my legs get cleared, she's coming down on a chest-to-chest line. Does that make sense? So the way this is going to kind of, let me go down, I'll show the top perspective. This principle will massively help your passing too, okay? So when I say distance, what I mean is on like an x-axis, just this way, right? So like I could be really close here, but this is actually less close than here, okay? Because I'm right above her, right? If you look at my weight, it's coming straight down here, right? So if I'm here, this can become a reverse leg drag and a drop, right? It can become a leg drag, right? It could become a knee cut, but I'm always here. If my body weight is here, and she pushes on me, and imagine this is my body weight, just like right here. She's pushing me away, but she's also pushing herself straight into the floor. Does that make sense? If my weight is coming from here, when she pushes on me, she's pushing me away, but also herself away. So she's getting away, right? So the core battle for both the person on top and bottom, the person on bottom is trying to keep distance, and the person on top is trying to get above the person. How the pass looks can vary, right? If I'm right over top here, right, this can become a stack. If her legs open a little wider, it could become me dropping this way. It could become a knee cut. But all of these end with me in this positioning, right? So that is we're going to build on this as we go, that is the most critical factor in whether your guard is getting passed or not. There's literally not a single pass in existence that doesn't end chest to chest. So if you're always keeping that buffer, you're never really in that much danger. Okay? So that's the broad idea. So go up. Second priority in guard defense is what I just call feet alignment, right? It just means my feet are facing them, right? If I'm here, so if she's a little bit closer, just say that, right? If she's a little bit closer, now I have to worry a bit more, right? Because I don't have the distance. If my feet are out of alignment, now she can start closing the gap, right? So second priority is feet alignment, right? Number one is distance, number two is feet alignment, number three is elbow-knee space. Elbow-knee space matters mostly if they're really close, so like start coming in the side almost, right? The elbow-knee space is like the last line of defense, but what I don't want to do is have her up here and be like, I have to keep my elbows and knees. I don't care about that right now because I have space and the feet alignment. If I get cleared and she starts to get close, then I have to worry about this. Does that make sense? So that's like the order of priority, okay? So now all we're going to do as we work on the guard defensive aspect, I just want you guys to start off. I want you to defend, sorry, one more concept I want to get out before we go into this. What we're going to do first is we're going to have you guys start on your back and just practice defending with no grips. You really want to change your mindset for your guard to understand that your guard defense is as good as your guard is with no grips. A lot of people develop their guard based off of the grips they have. So what that's like is like you're playing guard and you're like, oh shit, you feel nervous, and then when you get the guard you like, be it closed guard, be it spider guard, whatever, as soon as you get that grip, you're like, now I can relax, right? You don't want to be like that. You want to be able to go with someone that you consider your like technical equal and feel comfortable defending with no grips. If you can get good at that core skill set, you can always be comfortable in your guard. Then whatever guard you play, be it worm guard, be it closed guard, be it collar sleeve, those are just extra, right? Oh, I'm defending, collar sleeves there, I play it for a second, I'm in trouble, let go. No problem. That's the fundamental structure of your guard. Then you can just overlay whatever guard you want. And in fact, like you don't really need a lot of the modern guards. They're great to have, they're great tools, but Kwame Gracie was able to submit so many people using just this basic principle. Keep distance, get the collar, right? You don't need any modern guard. They're great to have, I show them all the time, I use them all the time, but realistically, that's the fundamentals. Keep distance, and that's like the basic of jiu-jitsu, all right? So now, just so I don't talk too long in the beginning, what we're going to focus on is just to get the ball rolling. I want you guys to get with your partner, person on bottom, just practice defending with no grips. Your just core ability of stopping them from passing without you holding any guard, all right? You guys can just alternate doing that for a little bit, and then I'm going to slowly introduce to you guys like the top 6 or 7 patterns that I think massively improve your ability at accomplishing that distance core objective. Some of them will be really small changes that like you never know. Some of you guys already do it, and some of you guys, like I'll show one thing and it'll make a huge difference, but I think all of you are gonna get something out of some of these small little changes, okay? So that's like the big intro speech. After that, I'm gonna be pretty to the point with the techniques, all right? Okay, so partner up, just rotate top and bottom, just trying to pass with no grips, and we're gonna start building from there. All right, let's go, 1, 3.